Here, watch what happens with the 6 car.
Boy, just what Rusty's talking about. David Reagan goes in the corner, green racetrack, not a lot of grip, and that car just slides right out from underneath him. That was a great point that Rusty made. Absolutely what happened.
See, there's nobody around him right now, and when you just not enough rubber on the track right now, the tire pressure's not built up. This happened at lap 5, so really early for this to happen.
Tough break for Stanton Barrett, who had a great qualifying run in the top 15 in the 30 car. Big news for Stanton with regard to the remainder of 2007 and 08. We'll share with you a little later on. But let's show you again onboard camera with David Reagan entering the corner.
I'll tell you what, he didn't even touch the apron, though. I was waiting to see if he got down on the apron and made the car loose, but it wasn't that.
There, guys.
He just flat spun it out.
You know, Rusty, you talk about this racetrack, and last time we came by here, it was really a green.
Take a look at him getting off the corner here, exiting turn 4. Landon Castle pumps off the wall and gets into the right front fender of Brad Coleman. Brad just can't hold it and gets up in the wall. And that was just a situation where when Landon got close to the wall, he kind of pulled it down away from the wall to not hit it. And Brad Coleman was there and took them both out.
Well, interesting, Rusty. I mean, if you watch this, you notice one thing is the youth. You got 2 really young guys in here, and Landon goes in and obviously makes a mistake, and he takes out another young guy. Is it just inexperience all around that created this situation, Rusty?
Well, I think right now he probably had an ill-handling car. Landon Castle got up and got in the wall actually a little bit and bounced down into Brad Coleman. So I think that Landon didn't anticipate the car was going to get out of the racetrack like that.
Now from Brad Coleman's onboard camera, take a look.
Hold your line.
See, Landon just bounces into him like that. Brad had nowhere to go. Just a sit and duck at that point right there.
Just one of those racing deals, as they say.
Watch a job that Scott Wimmer does in the 29 car. Remember, this is the car that's leading the owner's point standings for Richard Childress Racing.
That's experience. That's experience. Great reactions on that. Had some idea of what was going to happen.
Now watch it from Mike Wallace's onboard camera.
Now, that could be putting oil down the racetrack, guys. Now, as he's exiting turn 2, that's where all the oil would be down on the racetrack. And Jamie just gets loose. It could have happened. So that happened off of turn 2. That accident did. So we'll have to go back and take a look at that.
The right front headlight.
Well, the way that car reacted, I mean, that was just a 4-wheel drift, Rusty, just like he got into some fluids, and it just sent the race car right up the track. It's not like it hooked her. I can't start the car where they do. I don't like a loose race car.
When you take a look at this, Kelly Byers gets up behind McCready, and I don't believe there was any contact there. It looks like he just got him arrow loose, and that's the most critical part of the corner. When you come off the turn and you got a guy packed behind you, makes you very loose.
Well, I find it interesting that he spun out simply because what he told me yesterday. He says, I just can't start the car as loose as Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer. I don't like that feeling, Brad, even though I'm a dirt driver. And there you see him get loose. So he wanted that race car a little tighter than probably it is, and he knew what he had.
Yeah, there was no contact at all. Good call, Rusty, between Byers behind him. Rolled, driving the 0-1 for Johnny Davis Motorsports up across the racetrack. Hard hit for Eflin.
Now, Rusty, was that a tire going down? It looked like that car just went straight up the racetrack. No turn, no chance, no opportunity.
Well, it looked like he lost a tire on that one, but he had another car packed right on his bumper going at the corner, and that could have been anything. I don't see any damage on the back of the car. So
I see one here in the 33 car.
Oh, man.
See, Robbie Gordon
Oh, man.
He got into the 33 car. You know, he says he did it on purpose. I really don't believe that, guys. That was a racing accident coming off of turn 4. And those corners, I mean, it's tight quarters going in the start-finish line. When you come off at turn 4, you get that loose. But look at that hit. Thank gosh for the soft wall.
Absolutely. And you really hate to see anyone get clipped in that right rear. See what happened, but yeah, just lost it, Rusty. Doc, it looks like he came in the corner and the car just slid sideways, turned around on him once again.
That's off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Different angle. Now watch the 14 trying to make the pass inside of the 47.
You can see the Cowles car just gets caught up in the left front corner of Kelly Byers and just can't get away from him. This track has got so much bank in the front straightaway, it drives the nose up at the track. We're talking 9 degrees of banking in the straightaway.
Your screen.
Once again, Rusty, all by himself. Another car all alone.
Kyle had a lot of damage on his car, and it really probably had his car not handling well anyway at that point. And he loses it off the cars. And it happened right in front of the leaders, too. I mean, the leaders were able to get through. You You see Kyle just getting loose right
Down,
there.
slow down, come on, come on, come on.
It's almost as if there's a string
Clear all
on the
around,
trunk of
slow
that
it down,
car.
caution's out.
Just lifts that rear end up. Look how light that rear end gets. Well, the leaders are right there, too. Look at that. There's Denny. Woo.
Oh, he had to hit Carl. Say, hey, I've been winning a race. Mike, you've stood out there in tires and got this track position. Get out of my way. And he's just mad.
Chain reaction behind him. The 25 of Johns gets tapped from behind. The 38, you see the damage on the front of Leffler, who's fourth in the points, by the way, here in the NASCAR Busch Series. Now the onboard camera from Richard Johns.
Green.
And Richard just never even got Harley out of second gear. He had his second gear and the third gear and already crashed.
A lot of impatience there. You hear the tires spinning. Oh, man, great job by David Rudeman getting through that.
Here's the
Once again, runs off down the corner. Brad Keselowski on the inside.
Okay, arrow loose, guys. You hear me talking about it all the time. A lot of the viewers get sick of me talking about it, but that's what that was.
Absolutely.
He got down in there and got sideways and lost it before he got to the corner, got up into the 29 car of Scott Wimmer and took him out. Now watch the car step out, just loses the grip up into it.
Yeah, that was purely accidental. Looked like it bottomed out a little bit as well, Rusty, so just went away from him.
And let me remind you, arrow could lose can happen on any racetrack, a half-mile track, all the way up to Daytona and Talladega.
Inside.
Boy, that's just so
Caution's
unfortunate.
out. 88 got it. He finally did.
Well, Brad
Yeah.
Keselowski was on the rear bumper with the 29 throughout the day. And those two, sometimes drivers just find each other. And these two could not get away from each other throughout the day. And Brad just tried to get around Wimmer, tried a little too hard.
Yeah, he did. And Brad's had a good run.
thus far in 2007. Now watch the 60 car down on the apron.
I mean, there just wasn't a whole lot of room there. I mean, Donnie was in the almost at the bottom of the racetrack, and Carl came in, and it just, well, I tell you, I don't want to second guess a driver, but it seemed like Carl could have went high and got around Donnie Neuenberg. I know he wanted him to give up the spot.